That's right. Read the hat. I'm the captain now. Hey, what's up? Just back for another episode of Patriots Public Opinion. This one's going to be more of kind of a funny story, though. It's something, me and my friends were tossing back some hilarious stories from life. And there's one story, man, that happened that I completely forgot about, and I think it's hilarious. So, just going to talk about it because it's funny, man. So, being a bigger guy, spending a lot of time in the military, never going to college, all that kind of stuff. I'm a blue collar dude, man. I do whatever pays the bills, whatever makes me money. And one thing I did a whole lot of in my life was being a bouncer at some rough bars and places like that, like doing security, throwing drunks out, those kind of things, right? So there's one story, man. Somebody asked me, what's one of the funniest stories you have from bouncing at a bar? I don't know so much funny story as much as something that just went wrong. I mean, it turned into a funny situation, but the way it went down was just ridiculous. So, 2019, I came home from my last deployment. Me and my wife packed the kids up, and we moved from Nebraska to North Carolina. The first city that we moved to was a city, Wilmington. And Wilmington's got a bunch of dive bars and stuff in it. It's got a lot of tourism with the movie studio and the beaches and all those kind of things. So I got this job working at a bar called Mad Cats. Mad Cats is kind of close to Carolina Beach, 10 blocks or so away from Snow's Cut Bridge, where you go over into Carolina Beach. And Mad Cats is a real cool place. Mostly typical dive bar crowd, but there was a few rougher people. There was a crew of bikers that come in there. I always had a good relationship, got along with them real well. Couple street dudes come in there and hang out, got along with them. Never really had too many problems. I had a couple situations I had to throw people out of the bar, but never like a whole lot of putting my hands up and having to fight or anything, except this one night. It was New Year's night. I want to say 2020, I believe. And I'm working at Mad Cats. The owner had actually wanted us to dress up. She'd have all these events that were going on there and stuff at the bar, and it was pretty cool. She'd do like live music. There was a midget wrestling thing that used to go down there that was really fucking funny. And, this one, it was a New Year's party. She threw a New Year's party at the bar. So she wanted everybody to dress up. So I came in a suit, but I came in a holiday colored suit, and it was, the jacket was like pink. And so, I liked it, man. I pulled it off. I looked good, but, you see a dude guarding the door wearing a pink, jacket, you probably like, and you had a few drinks and you're going to want to test some people, right? So that's what happened. So later on in the night, these two guys come into the bar, and they're two older guys, man. One of them's looks like he's in his 50s. One of them looks like he's in his 60s. The guy that's in his 60s, he's already fucked up and drunk, man. You could tell. Like, they'd been bar hopping. They'd been to a couple places. Mad Cats had a rule that as long, if you could tell they were intoxicated, don't let them buy drinks. As long as they're on their best behavior, they can come into the bar, though. They can hang out, stuff like that. So the younger looking one of the two, and he was really nice. I mean, he was drunk too, but he was acting responsibly and coherent and, being a polite individual. And he tells me, he says, hey, man, look, we're not here to drink. We've already been to a bunch of bars. He said, we're just waiting on a girlfriend to pick us up, and we just want to hang out in the bar and have a good time. I said, okay, no problem, man. So I turned around, took them into the door, scanned their IDs, took them in, told one of the bartenders, there was three of them working that night, being New Year's night, and I went back, passed a message to one bartender, hey, these guys are just hanging out, they're already intoxicated, don't serve them, right? And so that bartender said, okay, gotcha, no problem. One of the other bartenders, unfortunately, that was dealing with some other stuff going on, did not hear the message. It didn't get time to get to her before the older gentleman got a hold of a beer and started drinking. So I turned around and I told this guy, I said, look, man, I told you that you can't come in here drinking. You're already intoxicated. I said, I need to take the drink from you. Well, at this point, this older guy, right, starts getting in my face and he's like, fuck you, man. I'm going to do what I want. He's like, I'm old enough to be your grandpa. He said, fuck you in your pink coat. Nah, 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 nah. And I was like, all right, buddy, whatever, man. I said, look, now I'm going to take the drink. You guys got to leave. You got to wait outside. If you're waiting for a ride, that's fine. You got to wait outside the bar. And it's like, fuck you, dude. And I'm like, okay. So get behind him. I'm walking him out, just like you do with anybody. And the whole time we're going outside, he's just talking shit. He's just, man, I beat your ass, dude. Fuck you. I got ears on you. I'll fuck you up. I'm sitting there. I'm like, okay, man, whatever. Okay. Right as soon as we get out of the front door, the bartender says something to me. So I cock my head back to hear what she's saying. And as soon as I turn my head, I hear somebody say, hey, he's swinging. I turn back around, and the guy has literally stumbled towards me and swung a fist at me, but it doesn't connect with my face because he's so trashed he can't aim. So he hits the brim of my hat and knocks my hat off, right? And so I step back, and then I step forward. He cocked back to swing at me again. I put my hands in his chest. Didn't even hit him. Just put my hands in his chest to push him away. The guy is so fucking drunk that he spins around in a full circle and then collapses on the ground. And I'm sitting there and I turn him over at that point. I grab him by his arms and restrain him. And I'm like, you're not going to hit me, dude. You're not going to swing at me. You don't want this fight. But I never struck him, never hit him. The guy took himself out, you know. He's sitting there on the ground then, and I'm like, okay, look, I'm going to let you up, man, and I'm going to stand here till your ride gets here. But don't fucking swing at me again. I was like, that's a mistake. He's like, so he starts screaming, man, like a little ass girl, right? Starts screaming in this drunk fucking stupor he's in. He's like, well, your fucking security guard assaulted me. They pushed me in the street. He hit me in the face. Ah! He's like going crazy, dude. Well, luckily, there's a bunch of regular customers I was friends with. They're sitting at the table outside smoking cigarettes, and all of them were, dude, he didn't hit him. The guy took himself out. He fucking, I don't know what his deal was, dude. But eventually, the guy's girlfriend showed up. You know, she yelled and cussed everybody out because she's like, oh, you guys are beating up my boyfriend and da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, look, it's not what happened. Whatever, just take him out of here. Police ended up showing up for a different incident. They were like, do you want the guy arrested? I was like, no, man, the guy beat himself up. It's all good. So he ended up leaving, never saw him again. That was pretty funny. That's probably my favorite story. There's been a couple others, man. I had a girl, man, that almost got hit by the car because she was drunk. I was trying to walk her outside to leave, and she decided to flip out, jump over the banister of the deck that was on the front of the bar and into the parking lot. And luckily, I managed to catch her and pushed her out of the way right as a car was coming. And then she turned around and slapped me in the face, talking about, you don't put your hands on me and all that. Well, bitch, if I hadn't put my hands on you, the fucking car would have hit your drunk ass. But you know what? That's fine. Whatever. Next time, I'll just let the car hit you. Whatever. And then the midget wrestling one was hilarious, man, because there's a one particular wrestler, and I can't remember his name, but he would about drink his body weight in booze when he came there to wrestle, and then he'd be trying to fight these grown men at the bar. So at one point I had to actually pick him up like a baby, you know, carry him out to the bus. And then he's sitting there trying to be ornery and jump off the bus and fight these grown men that are just going to kick the fucking shit out of him. I'm standing there in front of the bus, have to keep pushing him up there and getting him out of the way so he doesn't get beat up. But man, I'll tell you what, it's a stressful job. You definitely got to be ready to take a hit and put your hands up when you have to. But there's some funny stories, man, that come along with that shit. And that's probably one of my favorite ones, man. So